and it doesn't go back to the top, right? DC with repeat. Ready?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a notice to let you know that a photo will be taken of each graduate on the platform. Beginning November 9th, 2015, graduates will be able to download a print quality photo at umb.ca/graduation/convocation. Enjoy your afternoon.
Amplissime cancelari, placetni tibi et officium incipiat.
Plaquette.
Please remain standing for the prayer of invocation, which will be given by Reverend Brett Addington, Ecumenical Chaplain with UNB's Campus Ministry. Brett.
There are many paths that we choose to take in life, and many challenges which we all overcome. And yet through it all, there's a spirit of hope and wisdom which guides us on. And so as we celebrate this time of graduation, we invoke that spirit to be present in all we do. Let us pray. Source of life, known in infinite ways, we seek and we find the presence of the sacred in this gathering, reflected in the experiences of the class of 2015, echoed in the names of each graduate as they step across the platform, and resident in the words of wisdom that are shared by our speakers and honored guests. Even as we experience wonder and joy in the gifts that are shared this afternoon, we know that our work is not done. May these graduates, and may all of us, not see this only as the culmination of their experience, but may this day be an invitation to move forward in life, to continue the work of repairing the world, of living into the gifts of knowledge we receive, not for their own sake, but for the sake of justice and all people. Amen.
Thank you, Brett. Please be seated. I'd like to take a moment today here at the start of our ceremony to recognize with pride that our university sits on traditional Wolastoqey territory. The mighty river that runs by us is also known as the Wolastoq, along which originated the Wolastoqey, the people of the beautiful river. And I would now like to call upon Imelda Purley, UNB's elder in residence, to deliver a traditional Wolastoqey Maliseet welcome. Imelda.
Kulasi kopa, Wolastagok, Nielanud Gazian Kayod Meg, Gitak Megomen, Gilwal Bemkiskak, Bedabaziba, Gakadinugdamania, Nakakulan Kayod Mania, Mikwida Hadmania. I welcome you to our Wolastagok territory, and for generations we've been taking care of the land, and today we're honoring your earth walk on this land and in celebration. What we do with the drum is when you were inside your mother's womb, nobody ever remembers the sound of her heartbeat or the echo of the grandmothers before her. You come from 7 generations before and then beyond, and that's what we honor today, that you're continuing to carry on the passion of those generations before you. So that's why the drum is here. And on the drum is the sun, the river, and of course the grass. And it's as long as the sun shines, the grass grows and the rivers flow. We carry truth wherever we go. So today I'm going to sing a traditional song. Because of the rain today, it's the one way that we honor our connection to our river, because our river also teaches us about emotion, because we were brought into the world in water, and so we honor all water. So we, the people of Wolastoq, never complain about the rain or the snow. So I'm going to sing a song to honor our great-grandmother, Wolastoq. I will go to the 4 directions, because from the 4 directions we come, and to the 4 directions we go. Super heart medicine is. Wula stuk say Davers, say Derver, say Pond. Wula stuk say Davers, Don lo say on. Termer porte moi un enfant je resterai. Termer porte moi un enfant je resterai. Guskiasnuk, where the ancestors led the way. Wlastuk is flowing, flowing and growing. Wlastuk is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, a child I will always be. Mother, carry me, a child I will always be. Lottaquasnook, where the wisdom that you've gained will be growing. Wlastuk Pamelagwe, Aji Debamigo. Wlastuk Melagwe, Zupegelmia. Niguas pamepin, was izajnilaskamil. Niguas pamepin, was izajnilaskamil. O Sagate, O Sagate, O Sagate. May your earth walk continue to be blessed and feel as good as you do today. Lewin, Baladan.
Thank you, Elder Purley. I'm going to take a moment here at the beginning of our ceremony to introduce our platform party. I would ask that you hold your applause until the end and all have been introduced. Members of the party, when I call your name, please briefly stand. Joining me on the stage are Reverend Brett Anningston, our ecumenical chaplain, from whom you just heard, Brian Baxter, chair of UNB's Board of Governors, Jeff Burkhardt, acting dean of kinesiology, David Burns, vice president research, Karen Cunningham, vice president administration and finance, Sarah Deveron, university secretary, Chris Diddick, dean of engineering, Captain Paul Dowling, aide-de-camp for the lieutenant governor, Jane Fritz, interim vice president academic, Fredericton, Ali Gorbani, dean of computer science, Margaret Grant McGivney, executive director of UNB's Associated Alumni and a member of our board, Lyle Ham, Dr. Alan P. Stewart, teaching award recipient, Don Harrington, interim controller, David Hintron, our registrar, Janet Hoyt, a member of our board of governors, Linda Keeley, orator, John Kershaw, acting associate dean of graduate studies, Van Lance, dean of forestry and environmental management, Barbara McDonald, honorary degree recipient, David McGee, dean of science, Allison McCain, our chancellor, Devashis Mitra, dean of business administration, Ben Newling, Dr. Alan P. Stewart, teaching award recipient, Imelda Purley, our elder in residence, Carmen Poulin, associate dean of arts, Julian Renault, member of our board of governors, Drew Rendell, dean of graduate studies, Ann Sherman, our dean of education, Cynthia Stacy, dean of Renaissance College, Mary Lou Sterling, professor emerita, Karen Taylor, member of our board of governors, Kathleen Valentine, the dean of nursing, the Honorable Jocelyn Roy Vigneault, lieutenant governor of New Brunswick, Brooke Yates, president of our Associated Alumni, and I'm Eddie Campbell, president and vice chancellor. Thank all of you for being a part of this very special day. I am pleased now to call upon our Chancellor, Dr. Alison McCain, to deliver the welcome address. Alison.
Your Honor, President Campbell, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, graduates. Welcome to our 61st Convocation ceremony at the UNB Fredericton. A number of you are here for the first time, some for the second, and most of you are probably thinking this is going to be my last, but I wouldn't be too hasty about making that choice. In any case, I do want to offer you my heartfelt congratulations on your achievement. Your determination, your hard work have finally paid off. Getting a degree, as you well know, is not easy. Over your time at UNB, you've grown in many ways. You've learned to think critically, you've learned to communicate effectively, and make informed decisions, using the knowledge and the skills, hopefully, that you have acquired here at UNB. The world in which we live today is changing at a faster rate than at any time in history. The good news, I would suggest, is that you are better prepared to not only cope with that change, but to lead that change. We do live in a better and more prosperous world than any other generation. But it will be your ideas and your work that is going to make sure that we make it even better. Hopefully, your time at UNB will give you those skills and the confidence to make those changes that are necessary. UNB recently carried out an analysis which calculated the annual economic impact of the university to the province of New Brunswick and valued that at $1.2 billion. Today, as we all know, governments are desperately trying to save money. What we're betting on here at the university is that your future success will be the best way to demonstrate to government that continued investment in our universities is one of the best infrastructure investments that they can make. But today, graduates, it's your day. Savor the moment. Tomorrow, however, start thinking about innovation in whatever you do, about how you can create jobs, not just hunt for jobs, and about how you can resolve some of society's most pressing problems and make this truly a better country and a better world in which we live. It's a big ask, but I'm absolutely confident you're ready and up for the task. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor McCain. Can't help but remember that just before the ceremony, I met a student who was working on her 4th degree at UNB. Never say never. I would like now to draw your attention to the medals and prizes list on page 10 of the program. The medals listed as for presentation will be presented at today's ceremony. All other medals and prizes will be presented at faculty awards ceremonies or can be picked up at the Financial Services Office in the IUC Physics Building. On behalf of the university, I want to congratulate all of the recipients and let me express our hope that you will always maintain the high standards that you have demonstrated in qualifying for these awards. I will now ask our Interim Vice President Academic, Dr. Jane Fritz, to announce the recipients of the Governor General's Gold Medal and the Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick Silver Medal in Education.
The Governor General's academic medals were created in 1873 to encourage academic excellence across the nation. Over the years, they have become the most prestigious awards students in Canadian schools can receive. This afternoon, we will announce the recipient of the award representing the highest level of achievement, the Governor General's Gold Medal for Academic Excellence in Graduate Studies. All students completing a master's thesis or report or a doctoral program at UNB in a given year are eligible to be considered for the award. I am very pleased to announce that the Governor General's Gold Medal for 2015 goes to Jason Hall for his thesis, River of Three Peoples, an Environmental and Cultural History of the Wolastoqey Riviere St. John River, circa 1550 to 1850. Dr. Hall successfully defended his dissertation in August, but was not able to attend today's ceremony. Please join me in a round of applause in recognition of this remarkable accomplishment. Through the generosity of Her Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, a silver medal is awarded to the outstanding graduating student in each of the faculties on the Fredericton campus. The Medal for Education is awarded at Fall Convocation. I am pleased to announce that the Lieutenant Governor's Silver Medal in Education is awarded to Adrian Ireland. Mr. Ireland is teaching in China and is not able to be here today. Please join me in recognizing his achievement.
Vital to our success as a university is the high quality of our teaching, and it is appropriate that we formally recognize and acknowledge this fact at today's ceremony. I will call upon Dr. Fritz once again to introduce the recipients of the Alan P. Stewart Memorial Award for Excellence in Teaching. Jane.
The Dr. Alan P. Stewart Memorial Award for Excellence in Teaching was established by the University Senate in 1972 to recognize teaching excellence on the part of some of the many teachers for whom this university is very proud. Each year, a committee of Senate composed of faculty and students selects the recipients of this award from nominations made primarily by students. For 2015, the Dr. Alan P. Stewart Memorial Award for Excellence in Teaching is being presented to two outstanding teachers. I would ask that each recipient come to the front of the platform when your name is called. Dr. Lyle Ham. I would now like to ask Sherry Lynn Duerga, a PhD student and one of Dr. Ham's students, to come up to the platform and read his citation.
Dr. Lyle Ham is relatively new to UNB, but he is a long-serving educator. Over his quarter century of public school and university teaching, Dr. Ham has endeavored to be what he calls a student-focused teacher. That commitment has resulted in engaging courses and overwhelmingly positive responses from students, colleagues, and local educational communities. During his time as a teacher and educational administrator in a small city in southern Alberta experiencing significant demographic change, Dr. Ham became concerned about the way he and his school were responding to the influx of students from around the world. He became convinced that effective teaching depends on community. That is to say, his deliberate pedagogical practices were to build authentic relationships with his students and their families, to learn about the context from which they came, and to nourish a range of school community connections. This deep commitment to the relational aspects of effective teaching continues to shape Dr. Ham's work here at UNB. He grounds his philosophy of teaching in the work and the words of Brazilian educator Paulo Freire, who wrote, "The teacher is no longer the one who teaches, but one who is himself taught in dialogue with the students who, in turn, while being taught, also teach." I think Dr. Ham would be the first to admit that he learns as much from his graduate students as we do from him. That's the kind of teacher he is. As one of his nominators for this award wrote, Dr. Ham consistently saw the value in his students' theorizing and encouraged us to continue our conversations. In the online Master of Education program, Dr. Ham meets students working as educators in diverse contexts around the world. His desire is to dialogue with students regarding key principles and concepts related to effective school leadership and foster deep engagement with the literature. This requires close attention to what his students tell him about their own backgrounds and the places that they work and live. Dr. Ham's students deeply appreciate this awareness of their particular circumstances. One student, whose research focus was far from many of her peers, and who otherwise might have felt excluded, wrote, "Dr. Ham has consistently encouraged me to bring my context to the table." Dr. Ham uses carefully constructed case studies, group work, and peer assessment to help students develop deeper understanding of ideas and facilitate their ability to shift that understanding into their own professional practice. A key approach to Dr. Ham is what he calls personal narrative in open dialogue, which includes sharing his own educational mishaps or vulnerabilities with students. The students, myself included, who nominated him for this award, commented over and over again about how much we appreciate his honest reflection and how it fosters openness to reflection on our part. Dr. Ham has a clear vision for professional education as a vehicle for enhancing reflective pedagogical practice, and UNB is fortunate to have him working out that vision together with us here. He is most deserving of the Alan P. Stewart Award for Excellence in Teaching. Congratulations, Dr. Ham.
And now I call on our next recipient, Dr. Ben Newling, to come forward. Amy Ray Gauthier, a Master of Science student and one of Dr. Newling's students, will read Dr. Newling's citation.
Dr. Ben Newling cares deeply that his students succeed in physics and as individuals. As one of the students who nominated him for this award wrote, Dr. Newling knows me by name in a class of 100+ people. For those of us lucky enough to be his students, we're more than just a face in a lecture hall. It truly shows that he cares about our education and personal development. Dr. Newling's passion for teaching is undeniable, and his passion for physics is infectious. His teaching techniques are innovative, energetic, and extremely hands-on. He's been known to bring his children's toys, including on occasion hammers and bowling balls, into his classroom to demonstrate concepts. In the words of another student, his lectures are hilarious and interesting and stimulated students to think for themselves. Dr. Newling's enthusiasm, hard work, and use of research-based teaching methods create a rich and meaningful learning experience for his students. He does all of this to make physics come alive, to spark a sense of curiosity in the physical world and an understanding that we can make sense of large parts of it. In an effort to reach all learners, Dr. Newling uses a variety of teaching methods. Hands-on activities, computer simulations, group and peer discussions, and multimedia presentations help facilitate deep learning and encourage student confidence. The first exposure to physics can be intimidating, but not in Dr. Newling's class. He flips his introductory physics classes by having students' first exposures to ideas occur outside of the classroom. They then complete online quizzes which help them identify where students are struggling. Class time can then be used to address these struggles. Dr. Newling is always looking to improve and refine his teaching methods based on feedback from students, student performance results, feedback from colleagues, and the latest physics education research findings. He's very involved in the advancement of research-based teaching at UNB through the UNB Scholarship of Teaching and Learning Community of Practice and in the Division of Physics Education of the Canadian Association of Physicists. As another nominating student said, he's a great guy and very willing to help students, but he also expects a lot of them. Thankfully, Dr. Newling also goes out of his way to be available to answer questions. He is available to his students at all hours and from almost anywhere. His office door is always open. He is passionate about giving students knowledge and skills they will use regardless of their future endeavors. Dr. Newling, or Ben as most of us call him, was my personal inspiration for pursuing a degree in physics. It is an honor and privilege to be his student, and he is most deserving of an Alan P. Stewart Award for excellence in teaching. Congratulations, Ben.
Well, congratulations to Dr. Ham and Dr. Newling. They are role models for all of us. We will now proceed to the conferring of an honorary degree. The recipient will be presented by our orator, Dr. Linda Keeley. Linda.
Barbara MacDonald, to be Doctor of Letters. Like many students today, Barbara MacDonald was the first in her family to attend university. While she grew up in Moncton, Barbara chose to attend UNB's Fredericton campus, enrolling in the Faculty of Business Administration program, where she earned a BBA and won the Lieutenant Governor's Award for the highest standing in her graduating year. From there, she received her Chartered Accountant designation and was a New Brunswick Silver Medalist. From then on, she never looked back. After a stint at Clarkson Gordon, in the late 1980s, she began as Special Assistant to the Senior Vice President and Chief Accountant at the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. Working her way up the ladder, she held several vice presidential positions at CIBC before becoming a Managing Director and Chief Financial Officer for CIBC World Markets. When she retired some years ago, she left CIBC as Senior Vice President and Chief Accountant to try her hand in the nonprofit sector. But Barbara MacDonald never really left UNB. She is a former member of the Faculty of Business Administration's Advisory Council, receiving the faculty's Award of Achievement in 1998. Addressing students, faculty, alumni, and local business people at the awards dinner that year, she told the students in particular, "My best advice is to enjoy this time at UNB. This is a wonderful university, and what you are learning here now, both in the classroom and outside, will stand the test of time." In addition, she was a member of the Forging Our Futures campaign cabinet, helping to raise money for UNB's capital campaign. She has also served as an advisor to the Board of Governors Audit Committee and was a member of the Board of Governors from 2006 to 2011, serving on key committees like the Audit Committee. Her leadership qualities were recognized by UNB's president in 2006 when he chose Ms. MacDonald and Dr. Norm Betts to report on the long-term financial stability of the university. As UNB's current board chair told me, Barb was one of those board members that every chair would desire to have on their team: constructive, cooperative, frank, and generous with her time. Barbara MacDonald continues to give back to UNB as a donor. Among her many contributions, she supports the MacDonald Nursing Scholarship, in memory of her father. She also played a part in establishing the Rolly Lutz Scholarship in Business Administration. As Ms. McDonald once noted, my ability to complete my undergrad at UNB was directly related to the many scholarships and bursary programs that were available at the university. Clearly, she understands the financial struggles of students trying to finish a degree. For all her contributions over the years, UNB is pleased to award Barbara McDonald an honorary Doctor of Letters. Insignissimi praeses amplissime cancellari tota universitas praesento vobis Barbaram McDonaldum ut admitatur honoris causa ad gradum doctoris in litteris in hoc universitate.
Ego admitto te, Barbaram McDonaldum, honoris causa ad gradum doctoris in litteris in Universitate Novi Brunswicki. It is now my privilege and a great pleasure to invite Dr. Barbara McDonald to address this convocation. Barb.
Thank you. Your Honor, Chancellor McCain, President Campbell, members of the platform, family, friends, and yes, mainly the graduates. Good afternoon. And it is a good afternoon, isn't it? It's a day that I'm sure all the graduates and their families have been anticipating for a long time for a variety of reasons. I know it's a day I still remember. I was excited, glad to be finished, sad to be leaving good friends, and wondering what was next. It is an honor for me to be invited to speak to you today. And as I reflected on the world that you have grown up in and will continue to challenge and hopefully grow and learn in, I wondered what piece of wisdom I could share with you today from my life and career as you embark on this next journey. I decided that I would not talk about our global economy, technology and innovation, the exponential rate of change in the world, the many political challenges, the environment, and how each of you might go on and change the world. I decided I was going to talk to you about something much older than all of us. I was going to discuss some of the old adages that the people I met along the way shared with me and I found myself falling back on. And now you're wondering what I'm talking about, but I believe these sayings continue to be relevant in today's world as they were relevant to me in some of the decisions that I made over the last 40 years of my career. And before I start, I have to admit that I took poetic license with the adage itself, but I'm going to present them here today as they were originally told to me. One of my personal favorites has always been, at the end of the day, can you look at yourself in the mirror and like the person looking back at you? I know it's very cliche, but I want you to think about it. I'm sure there have been times in your life when you've not felt that great about certain actions you may or may not have taken. This one saying can apply to so many aspects of your life. Whether or not you choose to cut somebody off on the highway, go to the annual family reunion, or make the decision to drink the corporate Kool-Aid rather than blow the whistle. And I know that last example is an extreme example, but in your lives you all will, at some time, find yourself in situations where the easiest course may not be what your gut is telling you to do. The right course of action is not always clear. Difficult situations generally are not created by one bad decision, but by a number of seemingly not so bad decisions that occur over a period of time. When you find yourself asking the question, can I live with this, or is this the time that I really need to do something? Well, the decision may not be easy, and it's not intended to be. I have, and you will face many difficult decisions. As a financial officer, I can tell you it's not fun when you realize that a business transaction that's been in place for years was not understood at the time, despite all the reviews. It's very tough to stand up at that point and explain that this item is no longer adding value in an organization, and the reality was it never did. I can tell you that staying the course or responding to that old gut feeling was the best course of action for me. In my experience, that's generally the case. Anytime I took the other road, well, I guess I could say I learned from it, but it was not always an easy lesson. So when one of my mentors shared this seemingly cliche adage with me very early in my career, I didn't give it a lot of thought, but it has served me well. The next one I want to highlight may come across as being somewhat humorous, but you meet the same people on the way up as you meet on the way down. I remember when my boss, who was someone I liked and respected, said that to me. It was just after I'd been promoted, and I thought, well, what does he mean on the way down? I thought I had a promotion, or maybe he's on the way down. But with time, this one actually came to be truly important to me. What I came to understand was that no matter what stage or level you are at, in whatever career path you follow, you need to treat everyone around you with the same level of respect and consideration. Now, don't translate this into being someone who wants everyone to like them and is not prepared to make these hard decisions. This adage is about respect, consistency, and fairness in how you treat people. It's not about niceness. As I progressed with my career, it became so important to me that to be an effective leader was paramount to treat everyone with respect and fairness, which, of course, is the way you want to be treated too. One of the simplest courtesies you can provide to anyone is to know and remember their name. I challenge you to try it. We live in a global economy, and you'll most likely be working for, with, or managing teams in more than one location. It is a different challenge working with individuals either around the province, country, or globe. And in my experience, the most effective way to work on a long-distance basis is to establish a strong relationship. And the basis of a strong relationship is respect, consistency, and fairness. It does matter in the long term. The other truism that is embedded in that little adage is, yes, there will be ups and downs in your career and in your lives. I've had my own successes and failures, and while the successes were a glorious ride, and I never wanted them to end, you also will learn from your failures, and sometimes maybe more. The important thing is to remember not that you failed, but how you dealt with your failure. One of my biggest learnings came from this adage. You never know by what action or words you may influence someone, and you don't know because generally nobody ever tells you. A personal highlight for me was when an individual came to me and told me I was his mentor. What made this so special for me was that he was someone I didn't really know him that well. He worked in a total different area of the organization, and he was a peer and colleague. So while I worked in the corporate office finance, he worked in the trading room, which at that time was an environment of cutthroat competition, strong personalities, and on occasion rewarded the worst behaviors. What had mattered to him was that in my interactions with that environment, I was willing to stand up and fight the good fight and remain respectful of others while staying the course when my input and decisions were at best going to be unpopular. Here he was being influenced by my behaviors, and I wasn't even aware of that. I never forgot it, so you never know. You are already influencing people. You spent the last few years of your life at an institution of higher education. You may not even realize how much you have learned inside and outside of the classroom and how your various experiences can add value in numerous situations. My challenge to you is to share your knowledge, but be open to others as they share their knowledge with you. The ability to listen is a really great skill. We should never stop learning. It's one of the best parts of life. In closing, I would like to share with you a recent experience that I had. Last spring, the Netherlands celebrated the 70th anniversary of their liberation at the end of World War II. I had the opportunity to be France, Belgium, and the Netherlands at that time. We attended a number of memorials and celebrations, as well as visiting many of the Commonwealth war cemeteries. In one of these cemeteries, I came across a grave of a young Canadian soldier with the inscription, "Well done, son." For me, that short message was overwhelming. And now, as I look at all of you here today that are graduating from this university and move on to whatever your life holds for you, my hope for all of you is that in 20, 30, or 40 years, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can say, "Well done." Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. MacDonald. We will now proceed to the conferring of degrees in course. May I extend to all of you who will graduate here today the warmest congratulations of the university. When you first came here as a student, you became a member of the UNB family. And today, all of this family, your friends, your fellow students, teachers, administrators, staff have gathered here to share in your pride on reaching this important milestone in your lives. We are here to recognize your hard work and sacrifice, and we are here to wish you every success and happiness in the future. We do hope that you will forever remember your alma mater with affection and what you have learned here, and we expect that it will serve you well. As each of you receives your degree today, you will be presented with a University of New Brunswick alumni pin by the UNB Associated Alumni. We will begin with the bachelor's degrees, to be followed by the master's and doctoral degrees. Candidates for the master's degree will be presented by the university orator.
Degrees in course, bachelor's degree. The bachelor's degrees of arts, applied arts, science, medical laboratory science, science and engineering, geomatics, science and environment and natural resources, business administration, science and kinesiology, recreation and sport studies, nursing, computer science, information systems, science and software engineering, education, and integrated studies. Candidates will remain seated for the supplication. Insignissime praeses, amplissime cancelari succant, senatui et huc venerabili collegio gubernatorium, hi baccalaureae vel scalares, in facultate artium, in facultate scientiae, in facultate ingeniaria, in facultate silviculturae et rerum naturarum curandarum, in facultatem administrationis rerum negociarum, in facultate kinesiologica, in facultate nutritia, in facultate rerum computandarum, in facultate educationis, in collegio restaurationis. Quorum nomina ac studia, iam rit, cognita sunt, e promulgata, ut admittantur ad proprium baccalaureae gradum in sua quisque facultate.
Placetni vobis senatores, placetni gubernatores, ut hi supplicatores admittantur.
The supplicants for the bachelor's degree will now stand for presentation by the orator and admission by the president. Insignissime praeses, amplissime cancelari, tota universitas, praesento vobis hosse supplicatores in supra dictis facultatibus, ut admittantur ad proprium baccalaureae gradum in sua quisque facultate, testorque illos quod omnia quae statuta nostra requirum aptos et idoneas esse.
Ego admitto vos ad gradum baccalaureae in Universitati Novi Brunswicki.
You will now proceed in your assigned order onto the dais for individual acceptance. Thank you. The Associate Dean of Arts, Dr. Carmen Poulin, will present the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Applied Arts diplomas. The Bachelor of Arts with honors, Alfred Carson Rain. Richard Dana Yeomans. Joseph Daniel McCallum. Bachelor of Arts, Tiana Larissa Gerber. Gabrielle Roberta Ruth McMillan. Ashley Dawn Beck. Ashley Elizabeth Brewer. Kelsey Elizabeth Hines. Kathy Lynn McKay. Ian Stewart Ross Lawrence. This was for the Bachelor of Applied Arts, excuse me. Lacey Rita Jean Little. Caitlin Maureen White. The Dean of Science, Dr. David McGee, will present the Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science diplomas. Bachelor of Science. Jason Travis Finnan. The Dean of Engineering, Dr. Chris Dudek, will present the Bachelor of Science in Engineering and the Bachelor of Geomatics diplomas. The Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Arash Ahmadi. Aid Saeed Al-Bagomi. Nathan Scott Dawson. The Dean of Forestry and Environmental Management, Dr. Van Lentz, will present the Bachelor of Science in Environmental and Natural Resources diplomas. Bachelor of Science in Environment and Natural Resources, Samuel Timothy Murray. Seth Dwight Staples Allen. The Dean of Business Administration, Dr. Deb Mitra, will present the Bachelor of Business Administration diplomas. Bachelor of Business Administration with honors. Ahmed Motad Al-Mutari. Ryan Gregory Lee Yun Chan. Mai Tao Nguyen. Adrian Robertson. Bachelor of Business Administration, Maggie Jane Francis McDonald. Ryan Walter Hall. Caitlin Michelle LaFlèche. Zarin Lee. Michael Gregory Matcham. Amanda Sarah McGathy. Delphine Metallic. Sydney Jordan Paul. Jordan Arthur Prophet. Michelle Geraldine Simard. The Acting Dean of Kinesiology, Dr. Jeff Burkhardt, will present the Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology and the Bachelor of Recreation and Sports Studies diplomas. Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology, Chelsea Justine Thibault. Charlie Louise Warren. I need both. Bachelor of Recreation and Sports Studies, Cameron James Bragg. Mason Crowell. Thomas William Taverner. Nicole Ray Dubé. Robert Glendon Trites. Allison Nicole Whitty. The Dean of Nursing, Dr. Kathleen Valentine, will present the Bachelor of Nursing diplomas. Bachelor of Nursing, Christy Lee Lewis Schmelz. The Dean of Computer Science, Dr. Ali Grabani, will present the Bachelor of Computer Science and the Bachelor of Information Systems diplomas. Bachelor of Computer Science, Randy Douglas Scott Mills. Gun Chun. Joshua Bernard McKinnon. The Dean of Education, Dr. Ann Sherman, will present the Bachelor of Education diplomas. Bachelor of Education, Kelsey Victoria Brown. Meredith Michael Francis Bryden. Whitney Burke Callahan. Scott de Campos Cardoso. Mariska Christie Carrier. Jennifer Ann Dykerman. Tammy Ann Fournier. Kimberly Dawn Haynes. Emily Jean Hansen. Andrew James Harriott. Dan William Lapierre. Annick France Levesque. Kaylee Joy Marks. Josiah Andrew Darrell Marr. Kirsten Lynn Merrill. Kristen Elizabeth Maureen. Jenny Elizabeth Louise Paul. Alicia Dawn Sweezy. Courtney Lynn Rosemary Vale. Kayla Barbara Vallis. Mariana Catherine Weber. Jennifer Elizabeth Sarah Esty. Morgan Arthur Lincoln Kenny. Rosalind Moore James. Laura Rita Rossett. Shauna Ray Simonson. The Dean of Renaissance College, Dr. Cynthia Stacy, will present the Bachelor of Integrated Studies diplomas. The Bachelor of Integrated Studies, Amanda Christie Kavanaugh Michaud.
Let's have a round of applause for all those who received their bachelor's degrees here today. I'm not sure, but I think I detect a few happy and relieved parents. We will now proceed to award the master's degrees in course. The candidates will be presented by the Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Drew Rendell.
The master's degrees of Arts, Philosophy and Policy Studies, Science, Science and Engineering, Science in Forestry, Science in Forest Engineering, Computer Science, Education, Sport and Recreation Studies, Science in Exercise and Sports Science, Business Administration, Nursing, Applied Health Services Research, and Interdisciplinary Studies. Candidates will remain seated for the supplication. Insignissime praeses, amplissime cancellare, supplicant senatue et vic venerabile collegio gubernatorum, i baccalaurea vel scholares in facultate artium, in facultate scientiae, in facultate ingenieria, in facultate silviculturae et rerum naturalum curandarum, in facultate rerum computandarum, in facultate educationes, in facultate kinesiologica, in facultate administrationes rerum negotiosarum, in facultate nutricia. Quorum nomina ac studia iam rite cognita sunt et promulgate ut admittantur ad proprium magistre gradum in sua quisque facultate.
Placeti vobis senatores, placeti gubernatores, ut he supplicatores admittantur.
The supplicants for the aforesaid master's degrees will stand for presentation and admission by the President. Insignissime praeses, amplissime cancellare, tota universitas, praesento vobis oce supplicatores in supradictis facultatibus, ut admittantur ad proprium magistre gradum in sua quisque facultate, testorque illos quod omnia quae statuta nostra requirant aptos et idoneos esse.
ego admito vos ad gradum magistri in Universitati Novi Brunswicki.
You will now proceed in your assigned order onto the dais for individual acceptance. The Acting Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. John Kershaw, will present the master's diplomas. Master of Arts, Weijing Bi. John Merlin Donald Calhoun. Jeffrey Spackman Jones. Robert Andrew LeBlanc. Sasha Marie McEachern Caputo. Rebecca Salazar. Simon Sebutimbani Chinamula. Yashen Wang. Master of Philosophy and Policy Studies, Miranda Jem Collins McLaughlin. Master of Science, Tali Reno Boucher. Master of Science in Engineering, Amir Alaf Akbari. Ahmed Mohammed Al-Sagaf. Joshua Edward Keys. Master of Engineering, Akamobang Janet Johnson Akpan. Dainabari Akpi. Master of Science in Forest Engineering, Masood Sadeghi. Master of Computer Science, Olawatola Ayurmide INCG. Chintan Vijay Kumar Barad. Elahi Biglar Baigi Samani. Imobong Atoyo Ekweri. Thea Joan Ver Gegenberg. Master of Computer Science in Coursework, Usareten Frank Ehigiota. Pratik Bhagwati Kumar Shah. Vikramjit Singh. Master of Education, Julie Lise Alain. Shauna Alain Allen Vandertorn. Jenica Joan Atwin. Laura Lee Ann Billings. Sandra Colleen Braun. Kendra Christine Broad. Jamie Jacqueline Campbell. Cynthia Shantali Chaddock. Elizabeth Kathleen Christie. Christina Marie Clark McLaren. Vincent George Cormier. Allison Joan de la Bastide. Lindsay Michelle Edmondson. Veronica Mary Fequet. Gina Lynn Fifield. Leanna Kirsten Garrett. Tracy Ann Gatto. Mary Patricia Ganesh. Nancy Jean Greenlaw. Karen Justine Hamilton. Suzanne Gerarda Hanley. Darren Archie Hanscom. Sally Ann Hurst. Shelley Ray Hunter. Erin Jennifer Jones. Christina Violet Kelly. Kristen Gina Keys. Catherine Elaine Lowry. Ronald Andre Lager. Carla Maxine McConnell. Christine Danielle Martel. Julia Dawn Mauer. Patricia Ann McCandless. Sarah Leanne McMullen. Colleen Ann Mar Alcon. Saba Serena Morales. Brian Sean Muis. Carla Edna Pitre. Megan Margaret Poirier. Katie Lynn Prescott. Matthew James Sweezy. Michelle Lynn Taylor. Tanya Lee Thibault. Terry Leanne Way. Marie Kamche Zesu. Master of Nursing, Lisa Marie Duplessis. Michael Raymond Huey. Kelty Patricia Scott Keir. Jocelyn Melody LeBlanc. Holly Catherine Muir. Alicia Jennifer Reed. Chantel Anne-Marie Ricard. Amy Susan Schofield Morris. Fiona Bridget Thornton.
I think we should have a round of applause for all our master's degree recipients. We will now confer the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy. The candidates will be presented by Dr. Rendell.
The degree Doctor of Philosophy. Candidates will stand for the supplication. Insignissime praeses, amplissime cancellare, supplicant senatui et vic venerabile collegio gubernatorum. Sina Adam Chiabani, Geomatics Engineering. Pius Arijo, Mathematics. Alameyehu Helu Bedani, Chemical Engineering. Bo Tsao, Electrical Engineering. Jennifer Erin Dingman, Biology. Randy Allison Doyle, Experimental Psychology. Mehmed Salem El-Bakush, Electrical Engineering. Travis Garrett Gerwing, Biology. Dorothea Marie Gregoire, Forestry. Eric Burton Greisinger, History. Jason Michael Hall, History. Shabnam Jabari, Geomatics Engineering. Gia, Electrical Engineering. Benjamin John Jones, Mechanical Engineering. Paijan Ju, Computer Science. Mayur Milan Kali, Civil Engineering. Tamer Sayed Kamel, Electrical Engineering. Jeffrey Adam Langell, Physics. Peng Liu, Chemical Engineering. Jonathan Arthur Donald Nielsen, Biology. Brett Samantha Robinson, Clinical Psychology. Joan Anita Rostant, Education Studies. Wai Hong Song, Computer Science. Panagiota Demetrius Trifonopoulos, Interdisciplinary Studies. Jesse Holst Vincent, Biology. Cynthia Dawn Wallace Casey, Education Studies. Wai Drang, Geology. Magistri vel baccalauri ut admittantur ad gradum philosophia doctoris.
Placetni vobis senatores, placetni gubernatores, uti supplicatores admittantur.
The candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy will come forward and stand before the dais for the admission. Insignissime praeses amplissime cancellare, tota universitas, praesento vobis oce supplicatores ut admittantur ad gradum philosophia doctoris, testorque illos quod omnia quae statuta nostra requirant, aptos et idoneos esse.
Ego admitto vos ad gradum philosophiae doctoris in universitati Novi Brunswick.
You will now proceed in your assigned order onto the dais for individual acceptance. Sina Adam Chiavani. Dr. Adam Chiavani investigated the use of the UNB PanSharp algorithm on terrestrial imaging systems. His findings will contribute to future generations of security system cameras. Pius Arijo. Dr. Arijo developed and analyzed 3 mathematical models of malaria control and has demonstrated that the spread of malaria can be stopped by using artificial feeders that are attractive to mosquitoes. His findings will contribute to a broader understanding of the transmission dynamics and control of vector-borne diseases. Alameyahu Hailu Baidani. Dr. Baidani investigated the water vapor and gas barrier properties of cellulose-based materials and has demonstrated the potential of bio-based materials for replacement of petroleum-derived materials. His findings will contribute to a fundamental understanding of the structure and mass transport properties of cellulose-based materials for the application of pharmaceutical and food packaging. Bo Cao. Dr. Cao investigated the methods of efficiency improvement for small-scale, single-phase, grid-connected inverters. His findings will contribute to advanced control strategies in reducing the losses and improving the performance of inverters for renewable energy-based distributed generation systems. Jennifer Aaron Dingman. Dr. Dingman investigated the algal population cycling, focusing on host virus interactions. Dr. Dingman's findings have advanced the understanding of marine microbial ecology. Randy Allison Doyle. Dr. Doyle investigated the role of embodied cognition on gender differences in mental rotation performance. Her findings will contribute to the development of effective spatial training programs. Mohamed Salem El-Bakouche, Dr. El-Bakouche investigated the flexible control strategies using FACTS schemes for motor drives and smart grid applications. His findings will contribute to a broader understanding of using different kinds of filters and control strategies. Eric Burton Greisinger. Dr. Greisinger investigated the crucial role played by Anglo-Canadian and American combat engineers during the Northwest European campaign, and his research will contribute to a deeper understanding of military engineering in relation to modern warfare. Shabnam Jabari. Dr. Jabari investigated multi-sensor and multi-view angle remote sensing imagery. Her findings will contribute to automatic change detection and map updating of urban areas using a wide range of nadir and off-nadir imagery. Benjamin John Jones. Dr. Jones investigated hand prosthetic design and has demonstrated a mechanism which improves functionality and aesthetics while reducing weight and cost. His findings will enhance understanding of the complex issues associated with the design of artificial limbs. Haijian Zhu. Dr. Zhu investigated wireless networking under cooperative scenarios. His findings will contribute to the design of future intelligent wireless network protocols and architectures. Mayur Milan Kali. Dr. Kali developed an innovative anaerobic membrane bioreactor for treatment of high-strength industrial waste. His work will benefit pulp production industries in Canada and around the world. Tamer Syed Kamel. Dr. Kamel investigated fault diagnosis in power electronic converters connected to renewable energy sources. His findings will contribute to the widespread use of renewable energy applications and smart grids based on power electronic converter systems. Jeffrey Adam Langell. Dr. Langell developed ground-based high-resolution imaging interferometers that have been used to successfully image the wind field in Earth's mesopause region. His findings will contribute to the understanding of imaging interferometry and allow the dynamics of the mesopause region to be explored in detail. Jonathan Arthur Donald Nielsen. Dr. Nielsen investigated the evolution of the LHC-LIL protein family in photosynthetic eukaryotes and has shown that these proteins evolved through a complex series of duplications and domain shuffling. Wai-Hong Song. Dr. Song developed a weakening and strengthening-based approach for ontology classification, which aims to extend the capability of an efficient reasoner for language. Her work will contribute to enhanced computer-based language recognition and machine reasoning. Jesse Holst-Vincent. Dr. Vincent examined the distribution of spruce in relation to climate at the end of the last ice age in Nova Scotia. She used fossil pollen to determine where spruce was distributed and compared it to estimated paleo temperatures. Her results will give insight into the future of the boreal forest as it faces increasingly warm temperatures. Cynthia Dawn Wallace Casey. Dr. Casey investigated the link between historical consciousness, historical thinking, and community-based learning in history museums. Her findings will contribute to a greater understanding of how middle school students can be empowered to reinterpret the past through historical inquiry in museums. Wei Drang. Dr. Drang investigated the petrological and metallogenic relationships between the Nashwauk granite and dikes. His findings will contribute to understanding the tectonic evolutionary history of New Brunswick and will guide further exploration activities in the Sisson-Brook area. This concludes the granting of degrees in course.
Congratulations, graduates. For all of our new graduates, please note that an English translation of your diploma has been placed inside the folder behind the parchment. You don't need to just read it in Latin. In 2011, on the occasion of UNB's 225th anniversary, a new tradition was introduced, the UNB coin. I'd like to thank all those who made this tradition possible, from the committee who worked hard to get the coin just right, to the associated alumni who made a significant financial contribution in support of the project. We hope this coin will carry your individual memories of a life-changing experience at UNB and serve as a reminder that when you combine an ambitious goal and personal dedication, you can attain anything. Maybe more importantly, let this coin be a symbol that you were, are, and will always be part of our family, the worldwide family of thousands of UNB alumni who work to better our world each and every day. We hope you hold your coin with pride. We are certainly proud of you. We know you leave us with more knowledge, a greater sense of community, and the potential to make a significant difference in the quality of your own lives and the lives of those you touch as you take the next step in life's journey. Congratulations on a job well done. Another round of applause. I now invite representatives of UNB's faculty, staff, and alumni to present the 2015 UNB coins.
We'll just give these folks a chance to take their seats. I'd now like to invite Brooke Yates, who's president of our UNB's Associated Alumni, to deliver the welcome to our new alumni.
Thank you, Your Honor, Chancellor McCain, honorary degree recipient Barbara McDonald, President Campbell, distinguished guest, family, and friends of UNB, and class of 2015. I jumped ahead of my speech. I was 95, but I'll tell you about that later. Good evening, graduates. It's truly an honor to officially welcome you to the UNB alumni family. And before I go any further, speaking of family, I would like to invite us to show a round of applause for the friends and family, all those who have supported you today in getting here. And it's so nice to see so many future alumni in the crowd as well. The UNB Alumni Association is over 82,000 members strong, and we are fiercely proud of our shared past, the success of our fellow alumni, and the accomplishments of our alma mater. You're students for a short time, but you are alumni for life. It goes with you everywhere you go. I graduated from UNB 20 years ago. There's where 1995 comes in. And when I walked across this stage, as you've just done, I never imagined I'd be back 20 years later in this role to welcome you to the alumni family. A fellow volunteer recently told me, as we were preparing to greet a group of Canada's next generation leaders, when you reach a point in your life or career that you can give back, it can be tremendously rewarding. I wanted to share those words with you all today because I related to them right away, and I hope that you do too. I am hopeful that during your time at UNB, you have seen firsthand the important role that alumni play in supporting and enhancing overall student experience. For some, quite honestly, this support has meant the difference between a university education or not. For others, it has resulted in internships, first jobs, new learning resources, support for student programs and athletics, and just plain mentorship and much-needed advice. Being here today in the Richard J. Curry Center is an extraordinary example of this. Now, I realize we may not all be able to give back in that capacity, but it is important to consider supporting UNB in the future in any way you can. And I think back a few years ago, reading an article in the Alumni News where Dr. Curry was profiled, and he said it doesn't start with millions, it starts with giving what you can when you can. And that's not only in terms of monetary, but it's carrying on the UNB spirit that you've been part of for the time that you've been here and bringing that forth into the world, whatever you choose to do from here on in. Because as alumni, you are our most important ambassadors. So we ask you to spread the word about UNB, mentor current students, donate your time, or join the Alumni Council. And I'll come back and see you do the presentation at that point. Your support could transform someone's university experience and offer them new life and changing opportunities. Because here at UNB, every future matters. So we're looking forward to hearing about the next stages of your journey, where you end up, and the positive impact that I know you have in your community and around the world. I'm confident that I will see many of you celebrated in the future through our Proudly UNB Awards. And again, I'll be coming to remind you of remember when we had this conversation and planted the seed. In fact, hearing all the accomplishments and seeing you come across the stage, being able to shake your hand, look into your eyes, I thought, boy, you know, I've got to rewrite these notes before I stand up. But I'm sticking to the program, and we'll continue on. Today you've received a graduation booklet with information that will tell you a little bit about who we are as alumni, what we do in our communities. We strive to keep you informed about what is happening at your alma mater, but also to let you know of opportunities where you can connect with fellow alumni close at home and as you travel abroad. Our wish is that you stay connected, share your expertise, and be ambassadors wherever life takes you. Class of 2015, congratulations on your success. We are so pleased to have you as part of the UNB alumni family. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, and make sure you take time to take it all in. Congratulations.
Thank you, Brooke. You know, I'd like to draw your attention at this time to the mural in the back of the hall over here in this corner by Fred Ross of St. John, a painter. On the left, you'll see the horror and brutality of war, and on the right, the joy and happiness that can result from an education. Fortunately, you find yourselves on the right-hand part of that mural. Graduates, as you embark on the exciting journey now ahead of you, you will have moments that are life-changing, others that are memorable, and some that will be regrettable. But I want to urge you to take risks. Step outside of your comfort zone. Embrace the opportunities that come your way. They may not be what you originally planned, but you never know what greatness or what happiness you will find by doing the unexpected. Do not be afraid to fail. Every one of us is confronted with failure at some point in our lives. It's what we do when we fail that counts, as I think I heard earlier today. We are meant to make mistakes, and we are meant to learn from them. You are now ambassadors of the future. Be an ambassador for the kind of world you want to live in. On behalf of our Chancellor, the Board of Governors, the Senate, the faculty, and our staff, I extend to all who have received their degrees here today our most sincere congratulations on your achievement and our very best wishes for the future. I want to say a fond thank you to the St. John String Quartet, David Adams, Danny Sametz, Christopher Buckley, and Sonia Adams, and trumpeter Robert Dutton for providing the music for our 61st Convocation. Fabulous as always. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank all those who have assisted with the arrangements for this convocation. There is a small army of dedicated people who do their level best to make sure that the ceremony is as seamless as it can be and that our focus is on you, our graduates, and that you just have a wonderful afternoon. At the conclusion of this ceremony, you are all cordially invited to attend a reception in the atrium of the Student Union Building. It is now my pleasure to invite Kelsey Hines, who received her Bachelor of Arts degree today, to come up onto the platform and to lead us in the singing of O Canada. I would ask that everyone please rise and remain in your places until the academic procession has retired. Ms. Hines.
True patriot love
All of them? All of them, son? There's several. Do you want all of them?